All right, we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris. This is my channel, We Love Comics. And today I am going to be showing you the 4 comics I'm going to be sending in to get graded this month. I get this done by PGX. Whether you use them or not, I'll leave that up to you. I do a unboxing about every month and a half. Takes about roughly between a month and a half to get the books back, but I sent in 4 books every year now, going on 5+ years. And just so I always have full disclosure, I do not get paid by them. There are no contracts signed, so I'm under no obligation to say anything other than my own experience. Your experience may differ, but I do get 4 books sent in for free every month, which includes pressings, dry cleanings, signature verification if it needs it, and the grader's notes on the back. Of course, I pay for shipping and everything myself, and then they grade them, send them back, and I do a live unboxing every time I get them. I never know the grades until I do the unboxings, so it's a mystery to me as well as yourself. Now, I make sure not only do they benefit from it by getting some advertisement, I benefited from it from getting the 4 books graded. I made sure I made a deal with them so you guys get a benefit as well. If you want to use PGX, just use the codes inside the descriptions. If you want to get a free pressing from them, all you have to do is send in 10 or more comics. Use the code We Love Comics Free Press. They will press it for free. So depending on the book that you send in, you could save anywhere from $20, $30, $40 depending on the book. Hey, every little bit helps. So use that. And also, if you want to add grader's notes to the back of your slab, which I do every month, I love having that on there. Whether you do or not is up to you. But if you use the code We Love Comics Grader's Notes for $5 per grader's note, per slab, you can get the grader's notes added. It always helps if you're trying to sell the book or just to have your own knowledge of where it is and not have to look it up on an email or, go on the computer. It's just right there for you or anybody that's looking to maybe buy or trade for your comic. So I already see a couple of people are in. 7 people are here. 2 have already hit the like button. We got, is it Selwyn? Hello, welcome to see you. Papa Ken Comics and More. Nice to see you. Let me put on the video camera so you can see the comics. Of course, I send 4 in. I base my predictions on the grades after what I think a pressing and dry cleaning will do to the comic. So, I could be off by half a grade or so. I was off a little bit of last month's. You can't get it right all the time, but pretty much I've been mostly, for 5 years going on, pretty much within a 0.5 to 1 point grade on most of my predictions. But, can't get them right all the time. So I will base it on what I think it will be after a pressing and dry cleaning. Whether you send your comics to PGX or any other company, I highly recommend you get your books pressed and dry cleaned because, the difference between a 9.6 and a 9.8 could be $500, $1,000, or even lower grade books if they are, key comics from the silver, bronze, golden age, you never know. A 0.5 upgrade to a 1 point upgrade could be thousands of dollars. Depending on the problems that you have in a book, some books can go up 2-3 grades. If most of your damage, quote unquote, is, non-color breaking creases and they're all over the book, like wrinkles and stuff like that, pressings can increase the grades dramatically. So I highly recommend it no matter who you get your comics graded with. One of the things I love about PGX, in my own personal experience, they have in-house pressings and dry cleaning, so you don't have to mail them anywhere else, which means you don't have too many people handling your comics, taking them in and out of boxes, repackaging them. More chances of potentially getting them lost if you have to send them somewhere else or potentially stolen. So I like the fact that everything is in-house. They do also signature verifications in-house. The only other major company of the 3 that do that is CBCS. They are the cheapest as far as getting your books graded, and the pressings and dry cleanings are cheaper. So, if you're getting your books graded just for your own personal reasons and you're not doing it with any major intent to sell, then they might be the best way to go just to get them slabbed and protected. And they are the quickest. I never have to pay for, expedited shippings, and I usually get them on average between a month and a half every time. There was a delay a couple of months ago, but even that, I still got them back within 2 months, which is faster than some companies when you're spending extra money to get the books sent back. So there are a lot of benefits, but, go with what works with you. I just share my experience. Whether you agree with it or not is up to you. All I can say is if you've never tried them, give them a try. All right, so with that all out of the way, thank you to the 6 people that hit the like button. Michael B. is in the live chat. So if you've never been in the live chat, come on in and join in. I always do a surprise subscriber shout at the end. That is for somebody who is in the live chat. You do not have to be a subscriber, but if you want to hit subscribe, hey, that's great. I do nothing but comic content here, and let's start showing them. Now, this particular book looks really nice, but it does have a indent, and I'll show you that. This is a book I've had for a long time, not since the day it came out or anything. I think I do have a copy of it somewhere where I bought it originally, but this is Wolverine number 98. This is the first meeting between Deadpool and Wolverine. It's not a major key or anything like that, but still, with the Deadpool movie coming out eventually, and with Wolverine being in it, this is definitely a book that has increased in value over time. I only paid $9.98 for this book, so I really have no risk involved in this. Now, whoever had this before me must have stacked it flat with a bunch of other comics, or just could have put it in a box with too many comics. So it does have an indent here. So this is what I'm talking about. This with a pressing could potentially, it will help it because it doesn't have any color breaking creases. So I always make sure when it comes to a higher grade book, I give a little bit larger of a range because there are no guarantees. This can get a 9.8, but it does have 9.8 potential. But like I said, at $9.98 that I paid for this book, and which includes shipping and handling, because that is part of the cost of your book, I'm going to predict about a 9.4 to a 9.8 potential with white pages. So they usually do a very good job with the pressings. One of the things, because I talked to Daniel last week, Daniel Patterson, the owner of PGX, they say they do not use heat when it comes to pressings. And I'll tell you something, I get my books pressed unless they say it doesn't need it. I've gotten my books pressed for the past 5 years. I've never had a problem with their pressings. They've never damaged a book. They've never popped out a staple. They've always done a great job. And they told me they don't use heat and they don't recommend heat because, basically think of it like an iron. If somebody doesn't really know what they're doing, or they don't pay attention enough, or they just happen to put it in for too long, you could potentially damage your comic. So they don't use heat. I can always find out what the pressing is there. But like I said, I've never had a problem with their pressings. Knock on wood, going on 5 years. So give them a try with that. And you can even get your books pressed by them, even if you don't want to get your books graded by PGX, which is fine. They're one of the cheapest ones out there when it comes to pressings. So you could send your books to PGX, tell them you just want them pressed, which is going to be cheaper than most people. And again, they do a great job, in my opinion. Then you get them back. You can send them anywhere you want to get graded, or just keep them that way. But definitely, like I said, for under $10, we'll see what kind of grade it gets. But it does have potential in 9.8. But I'm never going to say any book is ever a guaranteed 9.8. And unlike many other channels that I've seen throughout the years, if it doesn't come back a 9.8, I'm not going to be, upset and think my world has been ruined. If I get it, that's awesome. If not, hey, it is what it is. This is a book I've never sent in to get graded before. That's another book I've never sent to get graded. I think the last 2 I have sent in to get graded, but I know the very last one has been a long time, probably a couple of years. But this book I've never sent in to get graded because it's the only copy I have. This is a Golden Age book. I do not believe there has any specific relevance to it, but this is Blondie's comic number 1. So it is a first issue of Blondie, which, of course, if you've ever read the Sunday morning, comics in the newspapers, Blondie's been around for a very long time. This book came out in 1948. So again, there's no major significance. It's not a major key character. I don't believe there's any first appearances, but it is a number 1 book from 1948. So I thought I'd send in something different. I don't even know what the value of this book is, but I only spent $70.50. So for me, a Golden Age book, especially a number 1 issue, worth taking the chance on. Now, the cover is detached, so that is going to limit the amount of the highest grade it could get. When it comes to Golden Age, even with a detached cover, the absolute highest grade a comic can get is a 4.0. Most people think it's a 3.0. But if a Golden Age book is in pristine condition and the only problem is the cover is detached, you still can get a 4.0. I have one, and I've seen others from CGC. So it's not like saying, oh, some other company is just giving a grade that it shouldn't get. There is the potential. Now, this one does have some damage, so it's not going to hit a 4.0. I'm predicting about a 2.0 to maybe a 3.0 or a 3.5, I said. I doubt it's going to get the 3.5, but you never know because the cover is beautiful. I mean, especially for a book from 1948. But it does have some issues along the spine, which, you know, that's to be expected from a book this old. Surprisingly, it only has one color break increase and a little bit of a dog ear. That's that fold there, so pressing can absolutely fix that. The major problem is the cover is detached, and, you know, for a book that old, that just means it's been read for a long time. You can see right here on the one staple, there is some damage there. So, although, other than that, looks really nice. And like I don't know if I said it, but it's got white pages for the first one. This one actually has off-white to white pages. So for a book that old, you know, this book is older than probably some people's parents that are watching this video right now. I'm not that old, so thank you to anybody that might have predicted that. But again, for the price I paid, definitely worth taking the chance on. Not going to be a major, even if it was a 4.0, it's not going to be a major key issue. But I just thought send something in different. This book I've sent in before. This is one of those books when I was a kid and I was going through comic stores. I just saw this cover, had to buy it. This isn't that one, of course. But this was in the regular long boxes in a comic book store back in the early 90s. But absolutely love this cover. It's iconic. You'll know it as soon as you see it. I sent one in recently, actually about 3 or 4 months ago, but this is my last copy, so I thought I'd give it a shot. This, of course, is Silver Surfer number 4. Doesn't have any first appearance or anything significant other than the iconic cover, and it may or may not have a rarity to it. Some people say this is a rarer book, some don't. It is harder to get, of course, in higher grade because this is one of those square-bound books where it's a thicker book, so a lot of times there's a lot of damage to it. This book doesn't look that bad for a book that usually gets a lot of rips along the spine. There's a minor bit of color crease on the bottom. It's not a major high-grade book. There's a little bit here and there. Dry cleaning will absolutely help this book. Little bit of a tear here, but maybe of a 1/4 of an inch. So not anything majorly specific. But I only paid a total of $105 for this book. And this book will sell all day, any day, because people love this cover, including myself. That's why I have at least, I think, 3 copies, maybe 4. I do know in some of my mystery boxes, which I still do sell mystery comic boxes. No one's ordered one in about probably 3 or 4 years at this point, but that's okay. If you're interested, just go to the link in the description of the video. If you're interested, I have anything from a $25 mystery box, which is all generic comics, to a $5,000 mystery box, which is going to have nothing but key issues. So give it a chance if you want to. But again, for the price I paid for this, under $100, $105, so just a little bit over $100. I'm predicting this one to be about a 4.0 to a 5.0 with off-white pages. So mid-grade, it might get a little higher, but I'd rather be wrong and be lower than wrong than be higher and get it wrong that way. You know, actually, I said that wrong. I'd rather be wrong and it be higher than it wrong and be lower, because that happened last month's, which, again, I'm not going to go crying hysterically, but it's not as fun as thinking you're getting a 5.0 and it's a 6, as opposed to a 5.0 and getting a 4. So, about mid-grade. So, we'll see what happens. And this book right here, definitely a key issue. Not as important as it was a couple years ago, but still, for the price I paid, not going to complain. This, of course, Iron Man number 55. There's a couple of different first appearances in here, but of course, the most important one is the first appearance of Thanos. A little bit lower grade. I paid $209.99 for this book. Does need a pressing and dry cleaning. I'm predicting about a 3.5 to a 4.5. There is a color breaking crease along here and along here, so pressing cannot help that. Dry cleaning may help it. It does have a little bit of a stain on the edge, but it does not bleed all the way through, so that will be helpful. But overall, for $209, figured I'd give it a chance, and this is my last copy of this book. I think I have another one or two. Yeah, at least two more. One's a 5 and one's a 6 that I bought years before the Endgame movies came out. So those are the 4 books. Iron Man number 55, definitely a book to acquire. Silver Surfer number 4, again, another book, especially if you want a display piece on your walls. Blondie number 1, we'll see what happens with that book, but I thought I'd send in something new. And again, another book I haven't sent in before, Wolverine number 88, first meeting of Deadpool and Wolverine, book I bought years ago, and 9/8 potential, but we'll see. All right, so those are the 4 books. Out of the 14 people, half of you hit the like button, 7 people, so thank you so much. Let's do today's surprise subscriber shout out. Since there aren't many people, we're going to do everybody. So we're going to go Agu, Michael B., Frank Robert, Rayman the Silencer Man, good to see you, been a while, Papa Ken Comics, and Selwyn Aries Jr. You're all today's surprise subscriber shout out. So if you want to... if you are not subscribed, you want to hit subscribe, you can. But those people that were in the live chat, you can, if you have a YouTube channel, you can post the link in the comment section to either one of your videos or to your channel itself. If you don't have that and you want to do a link to maybe your Twitter or some other social network, you can. And I always have to approve them, so even if you post the link, it will not show up right away. I do have to approve it, so this way... it's not sending anybody anywhere inappropriate, because I've had many people try and do that, try and send people to porn sites and stuff. The reason you never seen them is because, you know, I outsmart those people, and no one's ever had the light of day to see them. So that means if you do see a link in my comment section, it means it was approved, so it won't take you anywhere other than somebody's YouTube channel. So if they do post the link and you want to go check them out, give them a like, give them a support. Maybe if... they have some kind of social network you'd like to join, I'm sure they would appreciate that. So those are the books. I'm going to go get these packaged up. Another bit of advice I always tell people, I don't mention it all the time, so I guess I don't always tell people, but on the back of these books, when I send them in, I always put a piece of tape on the back that has, which obviously I'm not going to show you, shows my full name, my contact number. You could put your email address, your regular mailing address, and also if there's anything wrong with the comic. Sometimes it's better to mention it, because somebody that's getting this received, no matter where you send it, they're not going to know anything's wrong with it until they pull it out and find out. So like, for example, on this comic, I wrote on the back, cover detached, please take care when removing. And I said, thank you so much. Because they're not going to know. And if they pull this out too fast, I mean, they could end up doing some more damage. So knowing that the cover is detached, the person... You know, it's not going to guarantee they're going to be nicer to it, but that the fact that they're aware of it, it might increase the chance of them being a little bit extra careful. So it never hurts to put information on the back of the bag and boards of your comics, so this way the person that's receiving them gets a little idea. And also, because this happened to me once where I forgot to put the invoice in with the comics, they just got a shipment of comics and had no idea who they belonged to. Luckily, after about 3 months of not receiving them, I messaged them and I told them the 4 books, and they said, okay, you're the one, so they held on to them. But if you write your information on the back of the bag and board, if that ever happens where either you forget the invoice or they lose it or they misplace it or, you know, put the wrong one, if you have the information on the back of your comics, it's less likely yours will get lost because they'll have a way to contact. And if you put a phone number and an email address, if, for example, you didn't put the invoice, they can just message you and you can give them the information. So that is definitely something I highly recommend. I do it all the time, and it's one of those better to be safe than sorry situations. So thank you very much to the 11 people that hit the like button. I really appreciate it. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. When I get my other 4 comics back, which will probably be in another 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks or so, I'll do my live unboxing, and I hope you'll join in. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I showed you a comic you may not have known about, or something that you thought you might want to add to your collection. If you do, always look for deals. Don't be afraid to ask for deals, and wait for a deal. So that's my opinion, and I'll stick it to it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have a great day. And do not forget, it is not you, it is not I, it is We Love Comics. And here we go. Before I end this, if you look, that is another one of my AI arts. Every one of my thumbnails that I do now has the AI art that I create, so I would always love your opinion of what you think of them, and you could leave that comment in the comments section. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next video.